In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my ultimate top 20 Perfume Parlour cologne fragrances for 2022. So whatever your fragrance tastes, I'm sure there'll be something on this list that'll make a perfect signature scent for you to rock over the next 12 months. This is going to be an amazing selection, so make sure you don't miss a second of this one. Welcome to Mags Frags. Yes, hello again everybody and welcome to this very special episode of Mags Frags. I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas and a happy new year. My name's Paul and today I'm going to be letting you know my ultimate 20 inspired by fragrances that I'd recommend you try for yourselves from the Perfume Parlour. And as from yesterday, they're now taking orders again on their website. So if you like the sound of any of the fragrances that are featured on this list today and you're looking to place an order, you can use my unique 10% discount code, which I'll leave a link to down in the description. The link will direct you to a login page and you'll be asked to create a login name and a password. But once you've logged into the site and you've selected all your purchases, your discount will automatically be applied at the checkout. And as always guys, I always have to say this boring disclaimer before I do any of these Perfume Parlour videos. I don't work for the Perfume Parlour and this video is in no way sponsored by them. So all these opinions that you're going to hear today are my own opinions and I bought these bottles with my own money. I do, however, receive a small commission for recommending you to the site. So by clicking on the link and setting up a profile, I get a little bit of kickback, but you also save your 10%. So you're supporting the channel and helping me bring you more free content in the future. Yeah, so that's enough of the boring intro waffle and it's time to dive into this list. And by the way, these are all in no particular order of preference. It'd be virtually impossible for me to choose some of these over the other ones. So I'm just going to keep them all on a level playing field. Also, because there's 20 to go through today, I'm going to keep the descriptions fairly brief and to the point. But if you want to know more about any of them, they all feature in my other Perfume Parlour videos that can be found in a specially created Perfume Parlour playlist, and that's on my homepage of my channel. So let's begin by kicking things off with a huge big hitter in the fragrance community, and the original one of this is one of the best winter gourmand fragrance that you're ever likely to smell. This copy fragrance is called Noir Illusion and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1746. This one is a copy of Kilian's Black Phantom, which is a stunning blend of coffee, chocolate and boozy nuances. It's sweet and luxurious and it's perfect for the cold winter months. It smells virtually identical to the original, it has great performance, and if you're into your sweeter gourmand fragrance, then this is about as good as it gets. It's an absolute stunner and one that I would definitely recommend that you try out for yourselves. Next up is another absolute belter, and this one goes by the name of PENNINE, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1008. This is a clone of Carlisle from Parfums de Marly, which is a warm, rich and sweet fragrance with a mild smokiness. It's another truly beautiful cold weather scent which opens up with a spiced apple accord and dries down to a smooth brushed leather and tobacco combo, which gives off a smooth and seductive crowd pleasing sillage. This is another one where it's virtually impossible to differentiate the copy and the original unless you were to perform like an ultra critical side-by-side comparison. And I would also expect to get about at least 10 hours of performance out of this one with a really good projection. And all for £14 if you get the 30ml bottle size, but because I like this one so much, I opted for the 50ml bottle. Yeah, so following on after those two cold weather monsters, this next one, in my opinion, is probably the most versatile fragrance that money can buy. This clone is called Cyber Sports Extreme, and the Perfume Parlour code on that one is 0574. This one is a one-to-one copy of Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, which opens up with a vibrant tart mandarin orange, fresh mint and spicy black pepper. It dries down to a masculine woody fragrance whilst retaining its clean and uplifting freshness. If you're looking for a one fragrance for all occasions, then look no further than this one. It's a huge compliment grabber and one of the most respected designer scents in the fragrance community. This Perfume Parlour copy is one of the extract sprays which are the top of the range and contain a higher concentration of fragrance oil and come in these more desirable black bottles, but they do cost a few pounds more than the standard spray. So if you want the best of the best that the Perfume Parlour offer, then these ones are the ones to go for. Next up we've got one called Flamed, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0731. This one is a copy of Fan Your Flames by Nishane, which contains a prominent note of coconut, and it's supported by a boozy rum note and a sweet tobacco. This is not a tropical coconut though, like you find in some like Le Beau by Jean-Paul Gaultier. It's more like a realistic toasted coconut, which makes it suitable for colder weather. This is also a very unique take on the note, and you don't get that suntan lotion type smell that you often get with some other coconut based scents. This is blended to perfection with just the right amount of sweetness, and as it dries down you get some smokiness in there that comes through, and it just smells really sophisticated and expensive. This might not be for everyone, especially if you're not a fan of the coconut note, but I think it's amazing and one that you should definitely try out because it's very unique and interesting. This next one is one that I've only just recently purchased, but it was a bit of a love at first sniff, so I thought I'd include it in this list. The Perfume Parlour copy goes by the name of Goa, and the code on this one is 1367. This one is a copy of a fragrance called Koro by Xerjoff, which is an exclusive fragrance to Selfridges in the UK. This is a sweet and fruity and powdery scent with the main emphasis on the fruits. There's amber, vanilla, musk and orris fruit in the base, but there's not really any single notes that you can isolate in this one, and everything's just really nice and blended. It might not be masculine enough for some of you hardcores out there, but I think it's great to wear casually, and it'll be great in the evenings during the warmer months because it just has a really juicy scent DNA, and it's like smelling like a red berry fruit juice drink. Okay, the next one is called Genre Meeting, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1893. This one is a copy of Jazz Club by Maison Margiela, which is a sweet tobacco fragrance with boozy, smoky and leathery undertones. This one is a perfect night out or a date night fragrance because it's sexy, it's seductive and masculine, and a real compliment getter. It starts out fairly smoky and the tobacco leaf is the kind of first thing that hits you, but as it dries down you can pick up on the boozy rum note and plenty of the sweetness from the vanilla. This really shines in cooler weather because it's a really warm and cosy fragrance. If you enjoy your sweet tobacco type scents, then this is a must own. It smells really great and it has decent performance. And this Perfume Parlour copy, this literally is identical to the original, and so much so that I ended up selling my original bottle once I compared it side by side with this one. Okay, racing through this list now, and next up we have a copy of a fragrance from the finest British fragrance house. This Perfume Parlour version is called NOIRE, and the code on that one is 1913. This is a copy of Roaring Radcliffe from the Portraits collection of fragrances from Penhaligon's. It's a gorgeous, smooth, warm and classy fragrance with a lovely balance of sweet and spicy notes, making it an ideal winter fragrance. There's a strong spicy ginger note up top, which is balanced out with a sweet honey accord and a little bit of booziness from the rum note. Then as it dries down you get the tobacco coming through and a bit of a Play-Doh type accord from the beeswax in the base. It's a really interesting and a unique smelling fragrance, and I really enjoy the journey that this one takes you on. It's a very seductive masculine fragrance with a smooth and sophisticated character, but it also has a playful side as well. The Perfume Parlour version is a really strong performer and it outlasts the original, so it's definitely worth picking up if you can get a copy of this one, but it does keep selling out and going off sale, so if you can grab a copy of this one, grab a copy while you can. Okay, the 8th one that I'm going to talk about today is it goes by the name of Saintly S. The Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1804. This one is a copy of Kilian's Angel Share, and it opens up with a slightly boozy spiced apple pie accord, and it dries down to a gorgeous sweet vanilla and praline combo. It reminds me a lot of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and shares many of the same notes, including cinnamon, tonka bean, vanilla, sandalwood, and it's laced with a bit of a liquor note. The reason Tom Ford's Lost Cherry doesn't appear on this year's list is simply because it just has so much of a resemblance to this one, but I just prefer this because of the booziness that stands out a touch more, which just makes it slightly less sweet. However, this is still a sweet fragrance and you still get that like dessert-like gourmand fragrance with a hint of spiciness. I love this one, and if you haven't got your nose on it yet, put this one on your bucket list for 2022. Okay, next up we've got one called Golden Agar, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0636. This one is a copy of Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which is a combination of intense woodiness and spices. I'd say this is a perfect fragrance to wear outdoors during the autumn time, and every time I wear it, it just reminds me of that particular season because it's like a damp, wet wood smell. It's got vanilla and tonka bean and amber in the base, but I wouldn't say this is a sweet fragrance whatsoever. To me, it's more earthy, and it's the combination of the three different woods and the vetiver that are the most prominent notes in this one. The performance is decent enough, and you get a couple of hours of strong projection that cuts through the cold air during the fall, but I find it to be mainly a skin scent that kind of sticks around for quite a while, maybe 7 or 8 hours, but after the first hour or two it sits more close to the skin. Yes, so we're now halfway through the list, and if you're still tuned in, thank you very much for sticking around. It's time for another big one now, and this next one is called Herb Garden, and the Perfume Parlour code on that one is 1598. This is a copy of Layton by Parfums de Marly, and it's one of the most popular fragrances in the Parfums de Marly lineup. This is a very versatile fragrance that opens up with a fresh and juicy blast of fruits, including crunchy green apple, we've got mandarin orange and bergamot. Then it seems to just transition into more of a spicy and a woody fragrance. There's also some florals in the heart, but I personally don't get much of the florals, and I get more of the earthy woodiness rather than any other accord. So I tend to wear this more as like an evening dressed up scent, even though I think it'd be absolutely fine to wear casually during the day. I was underwhelmed when I first tried the original Layton in the shop a few years ago, and I couldn't see what all the fuss was about, but since then I've had a couple of bottles of this from the Perfume Parlour, and I've really grown to love it, and I'm probably going to pick up an original bottle at some point this year. If you're at that stage where you're kind of looking to get more into your niche smelling fragrances, then I'd say Layton is an absolutely perfect gateway into the niche fragrance market, and one that you should definitely try out for yourself if you are looking at getting into more niche. Okay, so the 11th one to make it onto today's list is an extreme freshie, and I can't wait to wear this throughout the summer of 2022. It's called Panthera, and the Perfume Parlour code on that one is 1611. This one is a copy of AGAR by the House of Bulgari, which is a citrus aromatic fragrance with only 3 notes listed in this one. It starts with a really sparkling and zesty grapefruit opening, followed by a woody dry down. There's also ambroxan in this, so you get a bit of an aquatic salty vibe too. It's super fresh and clean, and it's also got a very strong uplifting freshness in the opening, similar to what you get in Issey Miyake's Pour Homme. The original of this one will set you back £300 a bottle though, so this one is definitely worth picking up at £14, and it's about as summer fresh as you're ever going to get. It's so uplifting and so energising, and one I'd definitely recommend for the summer. Okay, next up we have one that goes by the name of Greek Island, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1950. This one is a dupe of Naxos by Xerjoff. This is a lovely, rich, warm and smooth fragrance with tobacco, honey, vanilla and tonka bean, producing like a caramel type sweetness. There's also the note of lavender in here, which gives it a slightly floral, breezy Mediterranean feel. This is more refined and more of a grown-up version to Mugler's Pure Havane. I'd say they're probably around about 75% similar in terms of the sweetness of the honey and the vanilla notes, but I prefer the cherry-like opening of Pure Havane, but I do prefer the dry down of this one because the lavender just makes it more interesting than just being an out-and-out sweet vanilla bomb. This is perfect for the springtime when the sun is starting to come out, but yet it's still fairly cool. The performance is very good with a very strong projection for the first couple of hours, and then it's more of a pleasant, comforting skin scent with an arm's length projection for the next, I would say, 6 to 7 hours. Next up is one called Second Reaction, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0360. This one is a clone of Side Effect from Initio Parfums, and it's a really lovely fragrance for the colder months of the year. It smells super rich and luxurious with a beautiful, warm and cosy feel to it. We've got oodles of sweetness coming from the vanilla and the tobacco. There's a gorgeous boozy rum note in there, and this is topped off with cinnamon, which provides a hint of spice. But it's the sweet fruity accord that stands out the most for me in this one, with everything centering around the note of plum, which some guys may find leans a touch feminine, but I think it's got enough richness and depth for most fellas to be able to pull off. This one is a perfect date night fragrance, or one you'd wear for like a dressed up evening event. There's nothing casual about this one. It's pure class, and it's very seductive and likeable, and you're going to get drowned in compliments whenever you wear this one. At number 14 on the list, we've got one of my all-time favourites, one of the originals, one of the OGs, and if you're a regular viewer to the channel, you will have heard me talk about this one on many occasions. This Perfume Parlour version is called Lose Control, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1459. This one is a copy of Kilian's Intoxicated, which is a warm, spicy fragrance for the colder months of the year. There's cardamom and nutmeg up top with a hint of cinnamon, and it dries down to a lovely dark roasted coffee accord. This one is a relaxing Sunday morning kind of scent with a rich, comforting aroma. It has a fairly soft projection, so it'd be ideal as a work scent or one to wear on a date night. For me, this one is all about the dry down, and I'm not so overly keen on the opening, and that goes for the original copy of this as well. It's just a little bit too bitter for the first 15 or 20 minutes or so, but as soon as the coffee and the nutmeg come through, it's stunning and it's just really addictive. I buy the Perfume Parlour wax melts as well in this fragrance, and I melt them under tea like candles just to scent my room. So this is exactly what my house smells like right now, so it's delicious stuff. So at number 15, and we're 3/4 of the way through this list, so it's now time for the bad boy of the bunch to make an appearance. This one is called Card Rawhides 2, and the Perfume Parlour code on that one is 1949. This is a clone of Ombre Leather by Tom Ford, and I had a tough decision to decide whether to include this one or Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather, because both are great and both are absolutely beast mode performers. This one, however, is not quite as sweet as the Tuscan Leather, and it's a bit dirtier with an oily, resinous quality, which gives it more of a bad boy attitude in my opinion. I have a bit of a hit and miss kind of relationship with leather fragrances, and I have to be really in the mood to enjoy one. But on the odd occasion throughout the year when I do, I would probably reach for this one over the Tuscan leather, because I just find that's just a little bit too rich for me personally. But I know loads of people out there absolutely love Tuscan leather, which I can understand because it is a beast of a fragrance. But back to this one, and this one also includes notes of like patchouli, amber and cardamom, which all blend together to produce a really potent aroma, which smells like I would say a vintage leather jacket. This is definitely not an office fragrance, and you'd probably get sent home for the day if you turned up wearing this one. It's got monstrous projection, and it will get on people's nerves if you tend to overspray it. This is best worn casually outdoors in the coldest of winter months, or as a clubbing scent. It's definitely not an elegant or a sophisticated fragrance. This is more of a ripped jeans and a leather jacket rock star type fragrance. Okay, so the next two fragrances that are going to feature on this list are more of your the kind of like your higher end designer fragrances. And kicking off with this one is Sensible 2, and the Perfume Parlour code on that one is 0685. This one is a copy of Dior Sauvage Parfum, which has become my favourite flanker from the Sauvage lineup. It's got a lovely citrusy opening with mandarin orange and bergamot, which is sweetened up by the vanilla and the tonka bean in the base. There's actually no ambroxan in this flanker, but there are a couple of resins with olibanum and alime, and everything is just rounded off with the smooth creamy sandalwood. This one is I would say a more grown up and elegant version of Dior Sauvage. It's not as loud or as in your face as the EDT, and I just find it much easier to wear during the daytimes. The Perfume Parlour also do a perfect copy of the brand new Sauvage Elixir called Sensible Elixir, and the code on that one, if you're interested, is 1481. But I'm not the biggest fan of the Elixir flanker, and for me it's just a little bit too dark and smoky and resinous just for my own personal taste. This one, however, is my favourite in the line, and this copy is pretty much identical to the original, so it's just such an easy fragrance to wear, and I'd definitely check this one out if you haven't already. Okay, once again coming in at number 17, and again, if you are familiar with the channel, you'll know how much I really enjoy this one. This one is called Navy Intense, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0061. This one is a perfect copy of the Parfum version of Bleu de Chanel. This one opens up with a blast of lemon zest. We've got bergamot and mint, producing such an uplifting and effervescent freshness. This is supported by pineapple, some light florals and tonka bean, which adds the slightest bit of fruity sweetness. The base is where you'll find its masculine backbone with the amber, the woods, we've got cedar and sandalwood in there just rounding everything off, and just everything coming together in like a magical scent profile. Yes, it's been around since God was a lad, and yes, it's been copied 1,000 times, but I'll never get tired of drowning myself in this one during the summer times. And this Perfume Parlour clone is one of the most accurate clones to the original that I've ever tested. You simply can't tell the difference when you test them side by side, so there's just no point in splashing out £100 and odd on the original when you can get such a great copy. This is great juice, and one that you should all try for yourselves. So coming next is one for all you hardcores out there, and if you're all about the performance when it comes to choosing a fragrance, then this next one takes some beating, and it goes by the name of Leaf Flavour, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 0401. This is a copy of Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, which, as the name suggests, is a 50-50 blend of tobacco and vanilla. There are other notes in here, including dried fruits, cacao and woody notes, but to me it smells like a smoky vanilla, which took me some time to get used to, and I have to be honest, this was one that I really didn't enjoy when I first tried it, but that's going back a couple of years ago, but it's really grown on me over time, and now I can really appreciate it. The sweetness in this will be way too much for some guys, especially if you're only used to wearing designer fragrances. But again, I'd say this is a really nice bridge over into the niche side if you are looking to get into more unique and interesting aromas. The performance on this Perfume Parlour cologne is definitely beast mode, and probably the best out of all the clones that I've tested. And it just never seems to stop projecting, and I'm still getting strong wafts of it a good 10-11 hours after spraying it. It's not my favourite in terms of how it smells, but boy does this one perform. Okay, so the 19th one that I'm going to be talking about today is once again another one that it's a fairly recent purchase. I only picked this one up from the Perfume Parlour 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I really enjoy this one. This one is called Charmer, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1143. This is a clone of Sedley by Parfums de Marly, which I think is one of the most mass appealing designer type fragrances in the old Parfums de Marly lineup. It's a fresh, bright and uplifting scent that is, I would say, is perfect for to wear casually during the daytime or to wear as an office scent. You've got citruses up top, which are nicely blended and not too piercing. In the mid, there's some clean florals. We've got lavender, geranium and some rosemary. And then in the base, there's ambroxan. We've got cedar, patchouli, and then just sandalwood just rounds everything off. This is a simple but pleasant smelling blue fragrance. And you get that clean shower gel type vibe. There's nothing too complex or challenging in this one, and even though it's a blue fragrance, it does manage to smell more mature and more expensive than your average high street blue designer fragrances. It does smell really nice, but I'm not sure that I'd be rushing out to pay 200 quid a bottle for it. The Perfume Parlour version is pretty much identical, and this one comes in at £9 for 30ml for the standard spray and £17 for the longer lasting extract spray, so I know which one I'll be rocking. And last but not least, we have one called Intense Black, and the Perfume Parlour code on this one is 1260. This one is a copy of Noir Extreme, again from Tom Ford, and it's the fourth one from the house to feature in this list. And I think the Perfume Parlour do a really great job at replicating Tom Ford fragrances, and they all seem to have brilliant accuracy and performance. This one is another one that lasts for hours. It smells really expensive and high quality. It's got a really rich depth with a perfect blend of sweet, spicy and woody notes. This is one that complements wearing a black suit perfectly for like your dressed up evening occasions. It smells super refined and elegant. It's really masculine, it's sexy, it's seductive, and it's a huge compliment grabber. So one that I would definitely try out. It's got beast mode performance as well. That is Intense Black 1260. Yeah, so that's about it for this year's ultimate Perfume Parlour recommendations. A top 20 list that didn't include a Creed Aventus clone anywhere. I wonder if that's a first. Yeah, all the fragrances that I've just mentioned are the ones that I personally tend to reach for the most, and they aren't necessarily going to be to everyone's taste. There's a couple that are not on the list that maybe should be and deserve a bit of an honourable mention, like there's a copy of The Chronic by Byron Fragrances, which the Perfume Parlour calls The Crown, and the code on that one is 0996. That is a stunning fragrance, but it's not made it onto the list just simply because it's been off sale for weeks now, so it's a little bit unfair to recommend one that you can't get hold of. And also I really like the Parfums de Marly Eau Jeanne, which to me is a little bit too similar to Kilian's Angel's Share, which I feel has a slight edge just because it has a bit more of a booziness to it. So that's why Eau Jeanne wasn't included. But don't forget, I'll still be bringing you my regular Perfume Parlour haul videos. So if you want to see all my latest pickups, make sure to look out for those over the next coming weeks. I've also received quite a few of these little free samples now from the Perfume Parlour with my last couple of hauls. And there's a couple in here that are really, really good, so I'll be putting them on my shopping cart to talk about in my next haul video, which will probably be some point at the end of next week. So as always guys, if you've found this video useful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It's been really great, and it's been fun talking about this selection of Perfume Parlour clones. So thank you very much once again for tuning into this episode, and also for sticking with me right the way through to the end. Hope you all have a cracking 2022, guys. Hope you buy loads of decent fragrances, and don't forget to keep letting me know what you think of them down in the comments section. So stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye bye for now.